Welcome back to my channel Criminology and Forensic Science, where science meets crime. Crime, sin, vice, tort. They all sound serious, but they mean very different things. In this video, we are breaking down the differences between crime, sin, vice and tort, so you can finally understand where morality, law and bad behavior all meet and where they split apart. A crime is an offense against the law. It's a wrongful act that violates the legal codes established by a government or society, and it's punishable by fines, imprisonment, or even harsher penalties. Crimes harm not just individuals but society as a whole. That's why the state, not the individual, prosecutes a criminal. For example, murder, theft, arson, and fraud are all crimes. They disrupt peace, safety, and public order, and that's why they are treated with such seriousness under criminal law. At its core, a crime says you didn't just hurt someone, you broke the trust of an entire community. A sin is very different from a crime because it is a moral or religious violation, not necessarily a legal one. Sin is judged according to the standards of a faith or moral code, not a court of law. For example, lying might be considered a sin in many religions, but lying to your friend about their haircut isn't illegal. Adultery might be a sin in religious terms, but in most countries today it is not a criminal offense, although it might have civil consequences like divorce. Sins are between the individual and a higher moral authority, that is God, according to many beliefs, and the consequences are spiritual, not necessarily legal. In short, you might break a divine rule but not necessarily a human law. A vice refers to a bad habit or immoral behavior, often socially disapproved of, but again, it may not be illegal. Vices are personal failings that could be harmful to oneself or frowned upon by society. Examples include drinking excessively, gambling, laziness, or being excessively greedy. These behaviors can damage your life and your reputation, but unless they cross a legal line, having a vice is not a crime. For instance, drinking alcohol is legal in many countries, but becoming an alcoholic is considered a vice. Gambling might be a vice, but it's only illegal if done in unauthorized places. So, a vice is a moral weakness, not necessarily a violation of law or religious command. A tort is a civil wrong, not a criminal one, that causes harm or injury to another person, and the injured party can sue for damages. Unlike crimes, which are prosecuted by the state, tort cases are private lawsuits between individuals. Examples include negligence, like a doctor making a mistake, defamation, damaging someone's reputation with lies, or trespassing on private property. In tort cases, the goal isn't to punish the wrongdoer, it's to compensate the victim financially for the harm they suffered. In simple words, if a crime sends you to jail, a tort sent you to court for money. Crime is about breaking society's laws. Sin is about breaking moral or divine laws. Vice is about personal moral failure, and tort is about causing private harm that can be compensated with money. Knowing the difference isn't just about legal studies, it's about understanding how we judge actions differently depending on whether they break a law, a moral code, or simply our personal standards. Next time you hear someone call something a crime or a sin, you'll exactly know what they mean and what they do. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button, subscribe for more forensic and legal deep dives, and tell us in the comments which one do you think society treats most seriously today? Crime, sin, vice, or tort?